Each week, Val and Amber make royal predictions and track breaking news headlines.
North Node is an Aries, some type of a win, maybe a win, a sports win.
I mean, yeah, it's a win, the Four of Wands.
Weeks later, a momentous win for England.
Third house is electronic and also communications.
You know, I was going to say something about the military information being released.
So there's something that is going to be released. It could be shocking emails.
March 24th, war plans are leaked by a journalist to the shock of European allies. In the March 24th episode, a new scandal.
It's like embezzlement, money, taking the money for themselves.
One day later, Prince Harry resigns from his charity.
I'm Astrologer Val Evans. It is Friday, April 11th, and Amber with Taurus Moon Tarot and I are so glad you could join us today. England didn't get a win this last week, so we're kind of disappointed about that. But maybe we will see some good news ahead. If you don't know anything about astrology, we break down tabloid headlines and omens we see every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. GMT. So hit the subscribe button to get your weekly notification. And if you're new, welcome to the show. We show you how to make your own predictions by teaching you how to review your solar return chart. And that reveals your monthly and yearly forecast. A special thanks to the replay crew, as well as the members that make the show possible, the valedictorians. And if you'd like to become one and support us, please click the join button and get some members only content. We've got some good stuff coming up. Hello, Amber. Nice to see you.
Hi.
Lots of stuff in the news today, particularly, of course, it's going to be about the tariffs and China and all of the world politics. But Prince Harry is kind of in limbo unless there's been, we're waiting for a decision here. Maybe some of you guys have heard something, but we're interested in looking at Prince Harry's prediction, what's going to happen with him. I just wanted to mention, here we go. I've got Justin Bieber's prediction. Part 1 is out for the members, but I've got part 2 coming this weekend, and I'm going to do that live. So is Sloan Bella, the famous psychic, is she just having a case of paranoia? Or is she actually making a serious prediction about Justin Bieber? We can actually see Sloan Bella in Justin Bieber's solar return chart. It's kind of wild. And of course, Amazon has my books, The Secret Career Code and Forensic Astrology 101. So make sure to look them up. We have the weekly prediction for this week. We're going to kind of do a quick review for this. Before we get to that, we've got some omens and symbols. And I also believe we have, I wanted to take a look at Amber's cards first before we get on to the oranges in the freeway. And you were pretty excited, Amber, about these cards. Yeah. What can you tell us?
I mean, I'm excited because it felt like such a strong, specific message. So when we look at either the weekly upcoming headlines, or we just sort of pin this for the future weeks ahead, with the Aries, Pisces, and Uranus, the first thing that came to my mind was which doesn't make a lot of sense, but an underwater explosion. I was like, fireball underwater. What is that? Fire underwater. So I want to keep my eyes peeled for something around that. And the symbol of an egg has been pretty prominent. Don't know what that is. It feels like a pod or an egg. And with the Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, and the Queen of Wands, when we go into the Harry chart, I'll be curious about how the money piece plays out. And there might be some kind of block, speed bump around money, but it's an ultimate win with the Ace of Pentacles and then that Eight of Swords. So we'll see how that comes.
Ah, and so interesting. We got Queen of Wands. I got Queen of Wands last week. So interesting that that sometimes can mean a celebration. And we
Yeah.
had a couple of celebrations, and you had a spot on prediction that the celebration was going to be Camilla. And of course, she is now down there with King Charles in Italy celebrating their 20th anniversary. Hard to believe they have
Yeah.
been married so long.
Yeah.
And then I believe we had somebody else write to us and say everybody's celebrating because I guess Victory Day is everybody gets the day off. And so that was announced.
Yeah.
That's for next month. And then also, as far as kind of sad news, we had that nightclub that collapsed in Dominican Republic. So yeah, there were parties and celebrations and kind of that kind of vibe.
There was also
So,
the stadium that had a paraglider that got stuck
yes,
on the roof and was hanging
I
precariously,
saw
was
that. I
rescued,
know.
but the roof piece was, yeah, kind of another sign.
Yeah, the roof. And
Yeah.
yeah, and we'll get into a couple of other things that have come up too. Angel, you're lying. There's rumors Kate is expecting. What? That
Hmm.
would be a big one. And Addie's here. Caroline from Copenhagen. Oh, New Zealand. Great. All right. Well, we've got quite a crew today. Now, let me get on to the next one. This was oranges in the freeway. Now, orange, this is an omen of some sort or a signal sign. And this is kind of like things sort of spill out. And everybody talks about the color orange when they're talking about America lately. So I couldn't help but kind of put that together. Some kind of Leo types of things where just it's kind of out of control. Things are sort of out of the bag.
Yes. And this Queen of Wands has these tiny orange tea lights that almost look like the little oranges in the street. Those little tiny orange tea lights.
I love it. I love it. Now, orange can also represent California. So
Mm.
maybe there's an abundance. Could it be a good thing? I don't know. Could you pull a card on what this omen might mean?
Mm. Six of Pentacles. I always think of boundaries. Yes, the Seven of Wands. I was thinking about a boundary because the way that it's lined up across the freeway. But this made me think of that as well with the Seven of Wands. There's something about the border, the boundary, money with the Six of Pentacles. Maybe it's something to do with the border into Mexico from California.
That's so weird because I got those first two cards last week. So
Yes,
remember? And we
that's
were
right.
like, maybe it's like a yoga retreat or something, but
Yes.
I like your
Yeah.
assessment about the borders. And Gibson, you're so
Mhm.
sweet. Easter eggs and chocolates. Thank you so much.
Oh,
And hello, hello, Linda. Good to see you. I know Gibson, 82. That's pretty cool. Um, yes, Michelle. Unfortunately, that's the case. So I know. How amazing. You're talking about orange, and Gibson's gift is on an orange banner. So maybe it's good luck. Um, Deb, you don't think Prince Harry's going to win this battle? We're going to do a forensic investigation to figure out what's going to happen. And it should be at any time now that he gets a decision. It makes me think that it's going to seem like a really long time based on Prince Harry's solar return chart. And so I'll tell you why shortly. Okay. So here's another omen and sign. I am seeing I don't watch White Lotus. I think I'm going to start.
yeah.
But do you watch White Lotus?
I don't. I've said the same thing. Everyone says I have to watch.
It's like, I mean, it's everything that they do or say goes viral. They
Yes.
must have at least a very good PR team.
Yeah.
But the one thing you're seeing on social media all the time is the name Piper. Piper this, Piper that. And there's also a Netflix show that just came out about kids. It's called
Yes.
Bad Influencers. Did you
Bad
see that?
influence. Oh, I started it. I've
Yeah.
started.
And
Mhm.
the main character on there, the main star, her name is Piper. So it's like I keep seeing the name Piper.
Yeah.
And I thought, maybe, Piper, pipe. Is this having something to do with gas, oil, Neptunian types of things? So don't know why I keep seeing it, but just, oh, and by the
Mhm.
way, she always says tsunami as well.
Yes.
And Buddhism, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that could also be kind of Piscean energy that we're seeing. But then, regarding tsunami, we see the headlines that China threatens to unleash $1.9 trillion tsunami on the world.
Mhm.
And so that came up. And I had last week put a picture of a wave. So it's so interesting that sometimes we're talking about a war and we'll start seeing the word war, but it's like tariff war. So that's kind of coming in a little bit,
Mm.
the Piscean themes.
Yes.
Now, speaking of Neptune, I would like to look at Neptune in the 1066 UK chart. This is the solar return chart for this year. This is what you do when you pull your chart. You can see the months and what's coming up, what planets are inside. And at any given month, you're going to have different experiences. You might have the same because it's the same sign. But if you have a couple of signs in a house, you're going to have maybe a couple of different energies that you're going to be dealing with, sometimes very, very good. But then it changes to maybe something different. Now, in between April 25th and May 25th for the UK, we have Neptune in there. And I keep seeing it as like gas, oil, that kind of thing. But remember who represents Neptune, I think, is a spy, and who is really a former spy. It is Putin. So I think that might be Putin in there. And coming up, because it's at the end of April, right as the fifth house starts, I'm just going to guess that it could be the first few days of May. There's something that the UK is going to have to deal with. And here is a big T square right here. It's a problem. It is a big problem. It's obstructing the success, part of fortune, in the government. And it also has to do with information and emails.
Mm.
So there could be several things that come in, I want to say the first week of May. And that could be, I'm going to say May 1st to the 6th, could be
Mhm.
disinformation, could be chemicals,
Mhm.
gas, or oil.
It does make me think back to the original cards about like a gas pipeline under the ocean, like something with that underwater. King of Pentacles, that could be Putin. That Six of Pentacles again. This is always to me about moving money. Someone in power moving money from one thing to another, depositing it into one place. One more disinformation. This gives me that Trojan horse kind of energy. With the Knight of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, it's like definitely disinformation. That's what I'll say. The disinformation.
I agree. I think
Mhm.
we have to be real careful about what we are looking at and believing. And this
Yes.
this happened before, and they believe that Russia was in the middle of all of the right wing protests last summer in England that
Yeah.
were violent. And so now, are we going to see that again? We have to be real careful about what we're believing and what we're acting on.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's interesting. Gibson, I'm sure you are on to something, some subliminal messages from probably many shows and media. Easter egg clues. I know it makes me think of Taylor Swift. Um, and yes, we've had warning of blackouts in UK and to be prepared. Okay. Hmm. And also, Amber, you were saying something about Alaska. I think it was 2 or 3 shows ago. That's been in the news lately. And also, I believe, Deborah, I think you sent me, was it you that sent me the email about a pipeline that broke? And I think that was in the US. So hello, Eleanor. Louise from Switzerland. Nice to see you. And Elfaz, you're talking about, yeah, I didn't watch all of it. I couldn't do it. I watched to like, I don't know, an hour in or so. And this is about the kids, the kid
Yeah.
influencers.
Mhm.
So yeah, does not surprise me that the finale was sad. It took me a while to get into Fallout too, but that was surprisingly good. Okay. Piper's also an aircraft. Oh, good one, Brenda. Yes.
Yes. And one
And
just crashed.
and a
Today or
horrible.
yesterday. Oh,
Yeah, it was
no.
yesterday, and it's I didn't put anything up about it. It's just so tragic and so sad. But I sent you some messages in how everything was so Leo there. Like the family, even though 6 people died, it was a family of 5.
Right.
The female, the mom, had some Leo qualities to her, and then sort of like something sudden. So it kind of goes into those themes of, big Leo qualities, big Leo ideas, and then some unexpected things. But in this case, I mean, beyond unexpected, just absolutely tragic. And so, Angel, you said, I'm trying to watch White Lotus, but I can't get into it. I know. There was another one I was trying to get into, and it was a little weird. Tremor Beach or something like that. Did you look at that one?
I haven't seen that. I'm a Game of Thrones never seen, and people just think I'm crazy
Me
because
too.
I've never seen it.
Just never had the
I
the
tried.
will. Yeah, you tried.
I tried.
Yeah, I have a problem with like all of the like it's really in your face X-rated stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I'm getting older or something, but I think it's just so
Yeah.
unnecessary, and it's like,
Yeah.
what are you trying to do?
Yes.
But
Gratuitous. Just gratuitous.
yes, it's so gratuitous. And
Yeah.
all right, so Elphaz wants to know, like, what's Doge doing? I love that. Would you be able to answer that for us, Amber?
That's a big ask. That's a big question.
Should we narrow it down? How about in the next month?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Timing will help. Let's see. Oh, is it OVER? Is it over? The Ten of Swords.
No way. Whoa.
This is often, it's an ending based on perhaps a betrayal or
Really?
being
Okay.
Backstabbed. Yes.
Okay. Interesting. And we wonder, can we ask what his next plan is then?
Mhm. When I get a 2 of Pentacles, sometimes it feels like this is like it's not for us to know just yet. There's options. There are options of what may happen.
Yeah,
Let's
maybe
see.
he's weighing it.
Yeah.
Deb said, I think Musk is on the way out. Brenda, you
Mm.
haven't seen Game of Thrones either. I know people think I'm crazy when I tell them that.
No.
And let's see, Deb. Oh, you don't think it was you. Remember sending something on earthquake forecasting. Yes, that one was a good one. We're going to use that for the next Predict the Weather with Me show. And maybe we could ask you one more thing, Amber. Is there any truth to insider trading? That's going to be a big one the next few weeks because, and this is for the US with regard to what's been happening with the tariffs and the big swings in the market. Are we looking at lawmakers making a fortune on the side here? Probably yes, but.
Yes. This too can be just the word nepotism. It's like moving money to people, it's insider. It's like within the family. And
Yes.
yeah.
Family trading. Ay. Broken blue balloon.
And the 6 of Pentacles again. This is something with this card today. It won't stop coming out.
Okay.
That is about robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Okay. What about the Canadian border to US? Lots of friction politically. We're going to get into that. We are going to get into that. I want to give Amber a quick break here. And what I'm going to do next is go to this week. Now, this is kind of a weird visual here, but I've got oil here. I've got a lot of collection of the US in the middle of Eastern Europe here. We've got a lot of Pisces. So we could have gas, we could have, all the things we've been talking about, and it's all like mushed up together. But I'm thinking about England right now, and this is England's chart. So England is actually Jupiter. This week, the ascendant is in Sag, so Jupiter is going to represent the UK, and whatever's happening down here with all of this stuff, the allies, and it's a group of them with the UK, they are trying to stop something. It looks like it could have something to do, I think, with oil, but there's a plan. Maybe it's to hook up Iran, Russia, and the US. I don't know what it is, but it looks pretty big. This looks like a plan I don't think anybody knows about yet. The good news, though, is that here's the UK again, Jupiter, and there's a nice sextile to Aries here, which could mean that they've got groups and groups and groups of military, really good military. They maybe are connecting with Germany, and there's some strength on the side of the UK. So they're not to be reckoned with in this chart anyway. And then there's this trine to the moon in the 10th house. This is the government. This is kind of like the government saying, go for it. Let's do this. We're not going to be having any of this Russia stuff. And keep in mind, they're trying to bring Putin into a tribunal, just like back in World War II with Hitler and all of the SS officers, same type of thing. So they want to bring him to justice for war crimes in Ukraine. So that's kind of happening all in the middle of all of that. And so if you want to pull your solar return chart, which we're going to do for a couple of charts, you're going to go to your last birthday. Like for Prince Harry, we're going to go to his 2024 chart because he hasn't had his birthday in 2025 yet. And then you're going to click solar only so that you have a chart with no planets on the outside. And then I wanted to talk about this real quick. We were talking about evil revenge and the emperor. The emperor was really big, which was a person in power. It could have been a couple of people, but I thought what was really interesting was that Prince William, he he heard that his brother went to Ukraine, to the front lines. Did you see that?
Did.
And
Yes.
my question is, what do you think about this little thing? Because, Prince William only went to Estonia. He didn't go to Ukraine like Prince
Yeah.
Harry did. Is there some kind of rivalry here?
Let's see. I can't with the Six of Pentacles. There's something with this card today. Wands. Yes. This is it is a little bit of a competition of, well, tit for tat. Tit for tat. Someone who, this I would sort of read maybe as Harry. And it's sort of a stick it to you. Like, it wasn't like he knows that it might have made him feel some kind of way about not going himself.
Okay. Interesting.
Or beat you to the punch. It's like, I beat you to the punch.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like I did a little bit better than you. You want to get out of a tank, and have those photos. Well, I'm going to be doing something noble, and in his way, he wants to do something better. And Elizabeth, you said the MPs have all been summoned to debate emergency legislation tomorrow about British steel. There we go. And we were talking last week about cars, and Mars, but Mars represents steel, so it's really big, the steel industry topic. And Shawnee had to step out. We will wait for you. And Deb, you're so funny. Let's see. Linda wants to know about, I'm sure a lot of Canadians on here want to know what's happening politically, all the friction. Can we get a card for Canada? And I guess how we've got a pause right now, but how are they going to do in the next month when it comes to diplomacy with the US?
Very good. The Sun card flipped out. Yeah. This is like strength, power, fortitude, in a really positive, place. It's not, underhanded or devilish or deceiving or anything like that. It's like showing up,
That's
showing up.
great.
Yeah.
We love those positive cards. So that's great. And so these were the cards that I got last week. And of course, there's Camilla and King Charles. There's some stuff still happening with the Bulgarian spies that were caught about a month ago. And the other thing about this, the female, I think female spies, MI6 came out and said that they're probably going to hire a female, the head of MI6 could potentially be a female, or they're going to be hiring more diverse recruits and that kind of thing. But that was a really interesting news piece. And then there's the weather. We were like, we knew something, this was like a tsunami that was coming, but sometimes it's figurative, I suppose. And temperatures soar to 23 Celsius today as Brits flock to beaches. That was yesterday. But Met Office warns rain to hit this weekend, and then it starts to get cold. But I think that's just for a little bit. That's next week. I had a solar return chart for Harry, and I put Dusseldorf. This is Mercury retrograde, and I should have put Montecito. So I put some different charts for him in this time. And this is Meghan's solar return chart with showing everything that's happened to Harry right now. And so we're in the ninth house. So crazy, isn't he's doing all this ninth house court matters. It does seem like it's kind of mixed for him. And I should probably have made this a little bit easier to see. Okay, there we go. And so this is the court. And so there's a blue line and a red line. But the moon generally in the ninth house means that you get a little help. There's somebody on your side. And also there is a sextile here to Gemini. So maybe it means it's the second court case. It's the appeal. It's doing it one more time. It's the exact, copy of the last one. But so I thought that was kind of crazy. Things are coming up here though, May, where he gets a shock. He definitely gets a shock. And we talked about that last week. So not sure what that is. I think it has to do with his homeland because this is the fourth house for Harry in Meghan's chart. This has to do with his home. And so that's case one, exhibit one, that he might not get exactly what he wants. And I'm going to get to Camilla's in a second. Now, this is King Charles's decade chart. And so you can see that for Charles, and to make your decade chart, you go to AstroSeek, you plug in your birthday, but you put in 2020, and then you look at the chart like a calendar. So by the fifth house, we're in 2025, and we've already started it. We've gotten past Scorpio now. We're probably, I think, into Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is travel, it's long distance. South node in a bad aspect, though, can show despair of the family in the fifth house family. So, and so you can see that there's an evil shock here. This is Uranus. This is a complete this is whiplash with Black Moon Lilith. This is very, very tough. And it's kind of like devilish. It's a little bit devilish with part of fortune. And part of fortune would show that somebody is not being very successful. It can throw off King Charles for sure, because any kind of red line can be sort of like an obstruction or something that jolts you and upsets you. But take a look at this. This is Harry up here, and he's got Black Moon Lilith next to him. So this shows me that he is really going to be at odds here. I don't know if we've gotten to this point yet. I think we're still here. Jupiter is activating for King Charles, and there are some good things for him. Let's see here. Some nice aspects, real estate investments, putting rules into place because of that Capricorn. There is some kind of stability that's happening for him, possibly. But I'm looking at this big triangle here. And I think what's going to happen is that, don't make a king mad. Don't make a would-be king mad like Prince William, but definitely don't get a redhead mad. And so this to me says that I think there could be another publication coming out. He is going to be at war if he doesn't get his way in court. And I wondered what you might think about that.
Said the word whiplash, it made me look at that chart with Uranus and Taurus, which is the neck. And then the first thing that came to my mind was something boomerangs for him. So it almost feels like if he put something out there before, it's boomeranging back at him. Like kind of coming back to bite you. Let's see. Yes, the Four of Swords. This is like having to hide. This is having to avoid any and all media, avoid any and all. And it's something with his work. This kind of feels like maybe around that charity thing. If there's another person that's interfering, if it's a publicist or someone, a writer, could be a writer, they're using his words against him. Something's being used against him is what I'm getting.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it looks like it shocks the family and it shocks Prince Harry at the same time. So it's kind of like I don't know, it seems explosive and probably on the publication side. Sagittarius is also court too, so could be the court shock. So Elphaz, you're asking if anyone has gotten Meghan's product and has anyone tried them? Debbie said you used to buy Evelyn and Crabtree in the 80s before Martha Stewart and all these gourmet types. I know, they were very good if I recall. These writers are they're making it an art form of being negative to draw everybody in to look at their article, but then being really positive once you read it, but then also adding negative things. So it's kind of like they're trying to cater to both sides. Regarding the decade chart, if your birthday is December 19th, would you then use 2019 or 2020? I've been thinking about this a lot. If you wanted the decade before, like if you wanted 2019, I'm sure there's plenty of other ways you could do this. But if you're going to do the decade chart, you would do the 2010. Yeah, 2010 chart. Broken Blue Blood, you said her jam was really good. I don't know about any of the newer line stuff. I got the jam just to give it a try. Good stuff. Good. Yeah, I can't imagine that she would be making terrible things. We had Saturn squaring Jupiter and Gemini in King Charles's soul return chart. So it did look like something was being paused there. I'm surprised that they are in Italy. So it's going to be interesting to see how that played out. Maybe you could tell us, why were we seeing this square to Gemini, which meant not going to Italy? What was the no there?
It could have been a meeting that didn't happen. The Three of Cups is another person. It's a gathering of people. Perhaps it's just something that had been on the agenda and the person, they didn't actually get together. Could be another meeting we don't know about.
We just don't know. We don't know all of it. In King Charles' decade chart, we have some pretty serious stuff coming up next year. This looks like closer maybe to the summer, so a year from now. And how do we get Prince William in there? Well, we would look at the fifth house lord, which would be Pluto at 22 degrees with Jupiter. This is extreme, like revenge. And lots of rules are being attempted to be put in place. But you can see, this is really interesting and a great segue. Look at how it squares Venus in Libra. And who is Venus in King Charles's chart? This is Camilla. Prince William definitely has some plans, and Camilla does not agree with him. Is there a way around it? Doesn't look like it. One of them isn't going to get their way, and Amber, is not going to get their way. We want to know.
Let's see. Oh my gosh, the Six of Pentacles.
Again?
Yes.
That's amazing.
And it actually, the interesting thing is the Temperance card. That's a compromise. That's a fine. I will do this if you, it's a negotiation. It is a
Right.
negotiation between the two. So maybe it's doesn't come easily, but they agree to, or it's like an agree to disagree. Nobody gets their way.
Yeah. Okay. There's a picture with them meeting the Pope. He was seated. Yeah, I know. They said they
Yeah.
weren't going to,
Yeah.
and now they are. So still, I feel like, I mean, if they're still over there, there's something that's going to play out still. It hasn't played out all the way
Yeah.
about this, I don't know, Saturnian energy. So we're going to have to see. Yeah, Robin, initially they didn't think it was going to happen, but I guess they did. Do you think that the Pope is going to influence King Charles in maybe a different attitude with his family and bringing them together?
Hmm. Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh my gosh. You know, the answer could be yes with this on the bottom. The Wheel of Fortune, he may have an impact, but here's what I'll say. He may have words of wisdom that influence, or they create pause, just thoughts, but still undecided and maybe stubborn and sort of
Yeah.
stuck on the, I don't know if I'm going to follow it, but I love to hear it and thank you very much.
Exactly.
Take it on board, but it doesn't change anything, perhaps.
Yeah, I feel like with the Pope, he might be saying, you know, if you want to really heal your mind, body, and soul,
Yeah.
you have to let go of that negative
Mhm.
energy. Somebody, Michelle, you said a bomb has just exploded in central Athens. We're going to have to look that up. Can you pull a
Yes.
card on what this might be about?
Yeah. This just occurred, I'm assuming. Let's see. What's going on in Greece? Oof, that looks like an explosion. I'd be curious to see if it involves where there's like an event happening or there's people, like street market, people out. Feels like this is, or something from the sky. I don't know if it's on the ground, but it feels like it could be up high.
Sean, I think
Like
you're
an
right.
electrical issue, could be an electrical issue. Or
Oh,
lightning. Like I'm
okay.
thinking of like lightning hitting a tree or power line sparks and causes a fire, something like that. But that's near and around people.
It's on the Greek railway,
Oh,
and they're
that's
suspecting a bomb,
dark.
and a bomb strikes, yeah, near the Athens offices. No injuries. I still think that's an omen. I think there's more coming. I think
Mhm.
we're seeing some omens for some more
Yes.
explosions.
Yes.
And so, but international types of stuff. It's
Yeah.
true. A lot of people are having trouble. So,
Yeah.
we all, most of us, I think all, if not all, we have a collection of Pisces that we're dealing with in our solar return charts. Saturn is in Pisces. Pisces means a mirror. Neptune is a mirror. Saturn in Pisces, Saturn means black. And so you put that together, Black Mirror. And the new Black Mirror just came out. And so everybody's watching it. It's like this cult favorite that began in England. I love that first one that they did. Then Netflix took over. It's just a worldwide phenomenon. It makes me think that everybody is going to have a Black Mirror moment
Mm.
somewhere in their chart. It's going to be 1
Yeah.
through 12.
Wow.
And hopefully I'm thinking I'd prefer it to be in the 11th house of social media. I don't want it to be too close, but we'll have to figure out what that is. Black Mirror, of course, it could be digital, it could be kind of something dark, but also a little twisted. But you're just getting into it now. I'm trying to convince you you should watch the first one first.
I should go back.
Yeah,
Yes.
watch the
Yeah.
first one first. What
Yeah.
do you mean a Black Mirror moment? We could just be hearing a lot about Black Mirror. Okay, so it's a British anthology television series. It's futuristic and
Hmm.
it explores various genres. It's in near future dystopias.
Wow.
Lots of sci-fi,
Right.
speculative fiction. It was inspired by the Twilight Zone. So it's like you've got your own little Twilight Zone this year, but it could be entertaining. And I have a feeling it's just that we're going to be hearing a lot about Black Mirror And we might even be reading things like in the news where we're just like, come on, wait a minute. So China just made AI photos of Trump and they're making shoes, which is Pisces. So yeah, like all of this kind of weird stuff you're looking at this year. And I don't think that's forever. I think it's temporary.
Yeah.
But you just described my life, Al. I know you and me both. Texas is really bad. Texas and Maryland, cedar pollen everywhere. Ah, that's what it is. I had a sore throat for a couple of days and I thought, that's it. Like I'm gonna have to really I'm gonna need surgery and all of this. I wasn't used to. I thought maybe I was talking too much. It was the allergies. And Elphaz, my orange kitten, has been sneezing too. Hello, Caper Girl. And let's see. Good evening from Norway. Hello, man. It's like your mirror, black mirror looking back at me exactly.
I think of Saturn and I'm like, does it mean I look in the mirror and I look old?
It's true. And you know what? It makes sense because that's exactly what it means. It means, you're going to look older in the mirror. I'm just hopeful it doesn't.
Yeah.
And is it similar to the butterfly effect? How about the girl who went missing after Dubai parties and found unalived on the side of the road? I know. Yeah. So there was a party kind of, that could be Black Mirror too, but really it has to do with kind of the digital universe, things that are kind of really messed up and dark. Yeah. Ashton. Ashton Kitchen. Let me see. Butterfly effect. Concept from chaos theory that describes how small initial changes in a complex system can lead to large, unpredictable consequences. Absolutely. I think it's almost a copy of the butterfly effect for sure. Okay. And now I'm going to, let me see what other chart I have here. Oh, okay. So here's the other thing. So you can't help but look at this chart where there's an, opposition where Mercury is at the very bottom. It falls. Uranus falls to Mercury. And when there's an opposition to Scorpio, I don't care who you are, somebody, it could be you, there's going to be a betrayal of some sort. So I think this is a confirmation that he is upset about something. And it makes me think that something is aligning for him where he's like, okay, now I can't bring my kids to the UK. Well, now this is war. Of course, now everybody's saying that, well, you went to the Ukraine, but he probably thinks that's different because he wouldn't bring his family there.
Right.
So this is some kind of scorpionic type of energy. I don't know what it is, but it seems as if it's Prince Harry that he's the one that's having a problem here. He falls on something. And Mercury could mean two people, could mean children. I don't know what that is. It's maybe just talking too much in a mean way and it backfires on them. People are just like, we don't want to hear that. That would be kind of like that energy there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Buckeye. And thank you, Frankie Blue. Knows California Pup and Friends, our California girl. And yes, you're autocorrect. I didn't know you had autocorrect in chat. And let me get on to the next one. Here's Prince Harry's solar return. This is the correct one. And this one is for Montecito for this past September. And so you can see that we're getting on to April 11th. We're still in Capricorn. So if you're going to look at this, and I should probably take this opportunity to mention that if you're interested in booking a reading with me or Amber, here's the information. And it's so much fun. We just had a joint reading the other day, and that was a lot of fun. The client said, do what you do on your show. So that made me laugh. And we had a good time. So yeah. So just you can go to astrologywithval.as.me or just send one of us an email. And let's see here. Yeah. Thank you, Shauna. And so now I've got Prince Harry solar return. So we're in Capricorn. So in your solar return, once you get to Capricorn, you're going to look at the Lord to see how that month is going to go. And you're also going to look at planets inside. So he doesn't have any planets inside here. So we're going to look at Saturn. And gosh, that looks very, very difficult. It looks sad. It looks blocked because you're going to look at Saturn up at the top. And that's up here. Saturn also represents father. Saturn retrograde is a weak father. With Pisces, this could mean a father that's, he's got chemicals in his system. He's doing chemo. He's very busy right now. And so that's way up there. And that's kind of maybe on Prince Harry's mind. It also, since we're in April 11th, we're right here. It can make that's the time when Saturn is kind of opposite everything. It makes you depressed, or you want to see dad but you can't, or he doesn't want to see you. So this is very difficult, and also makes me think that it could be a time where the time goes slow. It's like, oh, when are they going to tell me that, whether I get security or not? So then we're coming into probably maybe April, I want to say, to be safe, April 22nd. And that's when
Yes.
Uranus is going to activate. So Uranus is retrograde, and it
Hmm.
is part of a kite here, which is actually pretty positive. And I mean, we've got Neptune up here. Remember, Neptune could be somebody, a Catholic. It could be the priest. And maybe something that the priest said is helping him in some way. There's also the eighth house of other people's money. And I'm afraid to say, I think this has a lot to do with Meghan. I think she's making a lot of money. Whenever you have part of fortune in a house and you're about to come into that house, especially when you have blue lines going towards it, this is like huge. It's like it offsets some of that depression you had last month, and it's a nice distraction. So I like that for anyone who's experiencing something like that. Does he want the decision by the court now, or in like after April 22nd? Yes, I think it would be much better if it was out of the Capricorn. Capricorn also is the government too. So he's facing the government. And it just looks like it could be potentially slow. And maybe there's a little bit of a disappointment. There's his dad. It's in that T square. This is kind of the personality of his month. However, this is next month. So you can see I put Meghan down here. She's part of this big blue trine. There's a lot of investors, a lot of people who, this is very, very famous too. Something very famous because you have the moon and Pluto here, which is extreme fame and success. So yay for them. Now, and I'm going to look at the court chart in a minute, but maybe we could check this out. I guess, should we ask what you think, Amber, and not just the cards, but you're such a good clairvoyant. Can you tell us what you think with regard to the decision? What the chart is saying is it doesn't look great, but there might be a twist.
Mhm.
There might be a twist.
Yeah. That Eight of Swords, like I said at the beginning, made it feel like it was a win, but stuck, or with a little bit of a thorn. You get the rose, but it's loaded with, some thorns.
Okay, so we already pulled on this, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I probably shouldn't do that again.
And I just pulled again to clarify, and I got the Lover's card. So
Okay.
this to me is about, like, maybe it's the lesser of two evils. It's that compromise where it's like not exactly what he wanted, but it's something.
Okay.
It's
Interesting.
something, but it's not exact.
Okay. Charles looked medically propped up last time I saw him in public. He's far worse than people think, presenting a stiff upper lip to the public. Yet you see him standing up and smiling and greeting people. So, Alphaz, why is Charles refusing to meet Harry when his health is failing? Well, you know what? I think it's because he just loves and adores Camilla. And, when somebody you love is hurt, you're going to take their side. And he's always been on Team Camilla. That, I think, has a lot to do with it. Angel, you're so funny. And let me see here. Let me go to... Yeah, so here's the court chart. And so what we would do is we would look, it's so interesting. This is like, I think it's the 8th. It's I want to say it started at 10:30 because Prince Harry came in a little after 10. And the 9th house is here, and it's interesting because it's in Aquarius. And Aquarius is right within 1 degree of Algol. And if you look and see where dad is, dad's here. What's also really interesting is that Prince Harry's lawyer, Saturn, is a female, Venus, and she's a foreign female, North Node. So it's kind of hard to tell. It's like both Charles and his Prince Harry's lawyer both have very good, successful energy. And by the way, this female, I believe she's from the Middle East, which is Scorpio. So you could say that this is Prince Harry's lawyer. Saturn again, meaning lawyer. The lawyer is speaking, the lawyer is talking. There's Neptune there. She's on video. Everyone's seeing her photo. And with Uranus here, this could mean something that is changing. Maybe they're trying to change something around. So it does look like there could be some kind of a win because of this part of fortune here. It could simply mean that this is a very successful lawyer, though. And so if we're going to really look at the chart where the one who's bringing this appeal to the court is Harry. So the moon is going to represent Harry, of course, in Leo, right within 2 degrees of Regulus, the king degree or the prince degree. And then you've got the other side, the mortal enemy of the moon is Saturn, and Saturn is up here. And so it just looks like with regard to Harry, you're seeing a red line here with Uranus. It's a T square with part of fortune. So my guess is it's not really going to go his way, but I feel like there could be one of 2 things that happens. And I'd love to see a card and also your observation on this. With all of this jam business, they could be making a fortune and they can afford their own security. That's on one side. But on the other side, there could be somebody coming forward and saying, look, I loved your mother. I'm going to take care of, like, that's the kind of like, it's a second, it's like a back door. It's another option. So what do you think?
That's everything I'm seeing. And I pulled my Diana cards. The fact that you brought up Diana is crazy. And the Temperance, which is this compromise of, patience is a virtue. There's a compromise of like, well, I'm satisfied because I don't need that because I have this. Or it's not exact, but I'm going to work it out anyway. And maybe it does come somehow from Diana, either in spirit or in reality.
Yes. So it seems from his solar return chart that things are stuck, stopped, it's depressing, and then suddenly it's a whole different option for him. And that's what's so great about solar returns, because it gives you a little hope sometimes when you're feeling a little bit stuck. Yes, your Diana card. And what's so interesting with the cards that I got for the court case, I got the Magician reversed, which is your William card, and I also got the Sun reversed. So that makes me think that it, right now it might not go his way, but I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that too. If all else fails, Spencer's will bankroll. It's amazing how expensive security is. Very, very crazy. So, and yeah, she's sharp. And Soda Poppy said, our leaders are getting older. Father time gets us all. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's the other thing about Saturn in Pisces. That is Rip Van Winkle. So in your year, you might know of someone who is just constantly sleeping. It could be you, could be somebody you know. So definitely, be empathetic to those who are in bed this year. Hopefully not in kind of a healthcare type of way, but just they just want to sleep.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, thank you, Amber, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks
All right.
again.